Hello there. I'm Glenda, the self-help guru from Make It with Glenda. A couple times a week, I'll be bringing you new videos about grief, death, life, and relationships. Am I a trained psychologist? No. I'm a mom who lost her teenage daughter to sudden illness in 2011, and I'm taking my years of coping mechanisms on camera to try and help you while you're grieving. Today, I'm sharing what it feels like when your child dies. I had to take a few deep breaths before I decided what to say in this video because it's just hard to talk about. I've spent years finding my new normal, and sharing this kind of brings me back to it. It reminds me of how much I haven't forgotten and probably never will. But I think it's necessary for you to hear what I went through because you're probably thinking what you are feeling is not normal. It is. Well, anyway, your feeling really is normal. So there's no manual for the moment that your child dies. There's no chapter in the parenting books that prepares you for the silence that follows the scream. Or I guess I should say the scream that never comes because you can't really speak. There are no words that can hold the weight of that kind of loss. What happens to you next in the moment and days after they die isn't just grief, it's terror. It's numbness. It's a fog so thick that you forget how to breathe. I remember being afraid to go to the bathroom alone and being afraid of going into a room without lots of lights on. It wasn't because I thought something would hurt me, but because I was terrified that my child's ghost might be there. I didn't want to see them. I didn't not want to see her. I didn't want to feel anything, and I didn't want to feel nothing. Every corner of the house felt haunted, not by horror movie type ghosts, although any scary movies I'd seen really did not help in these moments, but by the unbearable absence of her because she should still be alive. My ex-husband, who I was still married to at the time, and our teenage son and I, we slept together for at least a couple of weeks in the living room. It was the largest room in the house, so it was able to handle all of us being there, but it just allowed us to be together. We didn't want to let our son out of our sight, and if there was a chance that Leisha tried to come to us in some way, we all wanted to be together. Not for comfort, for survival. We were scared of the dark, scared of waking up alone, scared of waking up at all. That is, if we even fell asleep. We clung to each other like castaways on a raft, drifting through a storm we didn't know how to name. I couldn't eat. I didn't care about food. I didn't care about anything. So many people brought casseroles and lasagnas and pies and toilet paper and paper towels and those first few days, and I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw them all out the window along with the people. I wanted someone to bring me my child instead. I was numb, my body moved, but my soul didn't. I was a shell, a fogged over version of myself. I couldn't taste, I couldn't feel, I couldn't understand how the world even kept turning. There's a fog that settles over you after your child dies. It's not poetic, it's not gentle, it's suffocating. It wraps around your brain and your heart and your lungs, and it whispers, they're gone. Over and over. Every breath that I took was a betrayal. Every sunrise felt like a mistake. And sunrises, oh my gosh, to this day, the beautiful sunrise breaks my heart. One of the last photos Leisha ever took was of the sunrise, February 11th, less than a month before she passed, as she was leaving for school. It's my background photo on this video. She captioned it, "What I woke up to." Even adding this photo as my background hurts my heart to this day. It's that caption that hangs on my heart because just 23 days later, she would never wake up to a beautiful sunrise again. She treasured those kind of things, and the whole reality of it all just tears my heart into pieces. When your child dies, you want them back. That's it. That's the only thought that matters. You want them back. You'd trade anything. You'd burn the world down. You'd give up your own life. You'd erase every memory just to hold them one more time. Just one more, no, you don't let go. No, you don't let go hug. You want them back, and you know you can't have them. And that knowledge is a kind of death all its own. People talk about grief like it's sadness. Sadness doesn't begin to explain it. It's fear, it's panic, it's rage, it's silence. It's waking up in the middle of the night and forgetting for one blessed second, and then remembering. It's being afraid to open a closet because their shoes are still there. It's being afraid to breathe because you don't know how to do it without them. If you're in this place right now, I see you. I know this fog. I know this fear. I know the way your hands shake when you reach for a doorknob, wondering if the air on the other side will crush you. I know the way your family huddles together like frightened animals, trying to make sense of a world that no longer makes sense. You're not crazy. You're grieving. And grief is terrifying. There's no right way to do this. There's only your way. And if your way means sleeping in a pile with your loved ones, skipping meals, crying in the bathroom, or talking to your child's ghost, then that's your way. And it's valid and it's real. You're surviving something unspeakable, and that survival is sacred. When Leisha died, and for months after, there was a pain in my chest that wouldn't go away. It's not poetic, it's not metaphorical, it's physical. It's a sharp and dull at the same time, like someone wedged a stone between my ribs and left it there to grind against my heart every time I breathe. It's the kind of pain that makes you clutch your chest and wonder if grief can actually kill you. Spoiler, it doesn't. It just kind of makes you feel like it would. Or like it could. Like you wish it would. Finding Leisha, that image doesn't fade, it doesn't soften, it doesn't get easier. It rolls through my brain like a freight train over and over without warning. I'll be washing dishes and suddenly I'm back there letting go of her lifeless body draped over the toilet. I'll be driving and it hits me like a punch to the throat. I see her lying on the floor with her dad performing CPR and me trying to help but forgetting everything I was ever taught in CPR training. I'll be trying to sleep and the scene plays again in full color, full sound, full horror 15 years after. It's not a memory, it's a loop, it's a torment, a wound that reopens every time I let it creep in. After she passed, I was scared to go in her bedroom. It wasn't just sadness, it was fear. The air in there felt different, heavy, still, like time stopped and never restarted. Her things were there, but she was not. And like, what if she all of a sudden figured out how to possess those crazy dolls she stuffed in her ceiling tile to scare her friends? I mean, she never did, but at the time, I was afraid she could and that she might. Her scent was in that room, and I feared for the day it would fade. I hated that I couldn't bottle it up. I hated that I didn't take more pictures of the two of us together, but I was grateful for the hundreds and maybe even thousands of selfies that she had taken of herself and her friends. They were everywhere in her room. I hated that I didn't sit in there with her more often. After the days that she passed, I stood at the doorway like a coward, afraid to cross the threshold, afraid of what I'd feel and afraid of what I wouldn't. And then one day, her dad decided it was time to move her bed. Her brother's bed was too small, so he moved hers upstairs to his room with the help of some friends that had stopped by. It made sense, it was practical, but I hated it. I hated every second of it. Watching her bed, get carried up the stairs like it was just furniture. Like it wasn't sacred, like it didn't hold her dreams, her laughter, her life, all of her times with her friends. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab it and drag it back. I think I might have tried. I ran downstairs and I sat on it like a child throwing a tantrum. I cried loud, painful cries. It was a violation. It was a heartbreak. It was another reminder that she's gone and the world keeps moving without her. I was so consumed by my own feeling of this act betraying her that I couldn't even think of how painful it was for my son to accept her bed. Of course, thinking about it now pings my heart. I missed the sounds. The laughter through the vents in the early morning hours from her friends used to almost piss me off. But now I just missed them. The giggles that would float up from downstairs when she was supposed to be asleep. The whispered conversations with her friends and her brother. The thumps and bumps and chaos of childhood. I still to this day miss it all. The silence after she passed was unbearable. It was loud. It was cruel. It echoed through the house like a taunt, like a reminder that joy used to live there, and it didn't anymore. Several of her friends still came around after. They would come over and ask to go sit in her room so they could feel closer to her. They were trying to figure out this death thing too. A couple of nights they even had a slumber party in her room, and I loved it. Hearing the laughter and teenage voices helped with healing, and I knew she would have loved them being there. People say grief gets easier. It's not that it gets easier. It's that you learn to carry it. You learn to stop crying in public. You get better at what I'll call pretending. But the pain, the ache in your heart, the flashbacks, the fear, the longing, I'm sorry, but that doesn't go away. It stays. That becomes part of you, and you get to a point where you are grateful for its presence. I'm not the same person I was before Leisha passed away. I'm not even a version of her. I'm someone else entirely. Someone who knows what it's like to find their child lifeless. Someone who knows what it's like to scream until their throat bleeds. Someone who knows what it's like to beg the universe for a do-over, but to just get silence in return. This is grief, unfiltered, unedited, and unrelenting. And if you're in it too, I see you, I hear you, I'm with you. After Leisha passed away, I looked for her everywhere. I knew she was gone. I knew what death meant. I knew the finality of her death, but my brain didn't care. My heart didn't care. I would still scan every crowd, every store, every school hallway, every park. I looked for her face, her walk, her laugh. I caught glimpses just enough to make my breath jump a hitch. A flash of hair, a familiar jacket, a posture that mimics hers. My heart would jump, my stomach would flip, and then reality would slap me. Glenda, it's not her. It's never her. But I kept looking. It may have been months. I honestly can't remember. Still to this day, I see her in strangers. I see her in the corner of my eye just for a second. I hear her voice in the wind, in the rustle of leaves, in the hum of the house. I hear her name in places it doesn't belong. I hear her laugh in echoes that shouldn't exist. I feel her presence in ways I can't explain it. And I wonder still, I wonder if she's here. Not in a ghost story kind of way, not in a Hollywood script, but in the quiet, in the warmth that fills a room for no reason, in the sudden calm when I'm about to break, in the way her favorite songs play at just the right moment. You wouldn't believe how many times that happens. I know what science says. I know what logic says, but grief doesn't follow rules. Love doesn't die with the body. Connection doesn't vanish with the heartbeat. So maybe, just maybe, she's still here in the ways that matter, in the ways that keep me going, in the ways that remind me I'm not alone. I watched a movie not that long ago with one of the most profound lines. A person dies and is greeted on the other side by the love of their life that had passed years before. They say, "I was here all along, you just weren't ready to see me." That just kind of makes a person who's lost a child go, I talk to her sometimes, still to this day, and I encourage you to do the same, out loud or in whispers, in your head. Tell her what's happening. I tell her what's happening. I tell her what I miss. I tell her what I regret. I ask her to stay close. I ask her to show up. I ask her to forgive me for not knowing how to save her. And sometimes I feel like she answers, not with words, sometimes with signs, with peace, with a flicker of something beyond explanation, like a brush of electricity on the side of my face or across my arm. I really don't care if people think I'm crazy. I'd rather be crazy and still feel her than sane and feel nothing. Because the truth is, I'm still looking. I'll always be looking until the day I see her again. People often ask me if I dream about her. Honestly, not as often as I'd hope. That is baffling to me, but it is what it is. It also feels cruel. You'd think the universe would throw me a frickin' bone, let me see her more often in sleep, if not in waking life. But no. The dreams are rare, they're fleeting, they're slippery, kind of like trying to hold water in your hands. But when she does show up, it's everything to me. She's whole, she's laughing, she's alive, and I'm desperate. Desperate not to wake up, desperate to freeze that time, desperate to memorize every detail of her voice, her face, the way she moves. I really spend the entire dream whispering to myself, don't wake up, Glenda, don't wake up, don't wake up. And in my dreams, she notices. She gets frustrated. She rolls her eyes. She tells me, you're not even here. You're too busy trying to stay asleep to actually be with me. And she's right. Even in my dreams, I'm clinging. Even in my dreams, I'm afraid of losing her again. I try to be present. I try to listen. I try to soak her in, but the fear is louder than the joy. The panic of waking up drowns out the moment. And then I do wake up, and I lie there staring at the ceiling, begging the dream to come back. I replay it over and over. I talk to her about it, and I apologize for not being better at dreaming, for not being better at letting go, for not being better at just being with her when she's there. Sometimes I wonder if she chooses not to come often because it's too hard for both of us. Maybe she knows I'll wake up shattered. Maybe she knows I'll spend the next day hollowed out, aching for something I can't touch. Maybe she knows that even in dreams, grief follows us. But I still hope. Every night, I hope. I hope she'll visit. I hope I'll do better. I hope I'll be present enough to hear what she's trying to say. I hope I'll laugh with her. I hope I'll hold her hand. I hope I'll remember it all. Because those dreams, they're the closest thing I have to her now. Even if there's something that I make up in my head, I'll take them. Messy, painful, beautiful, as often as they come. Losing your child is something I can't even find a word for. It's something I wish on no person alive. When a person loses their child, even if I don't know them, I wish with every part of my being that I could take the pain they're feeling and going to feel away. But I can't. It's something they have to go through and experience in order to get on the other side. The days after are absolutely terrifying. There's no escaping it either. What is my best advice for you as you are going through this pain? Don't let it consume you. Others have been right where you are and have made it through to their new normal. I have made it through. You will laugh again. You will find some level of happiness again, but it will take time. And the most important piece of information I want you to know is that you will not forget your child. To this day, I can see Alicia's face, hear her laughter, and feel her hugs. 15 years later, and it still feels like she was with me just yesterday. If you get anything out of this video, I hope that that part gives you comfort. And if you are going through this right now, I am so very sorry for your loss. I'm so very sorry for the days ahead and the turmoil you will be feeling as you go on this journey. Please don't lose yourself in this grief. Find a healthy vice and give yourself some grace. The day will come when you will be okay, but today is not that day. Oof. Tomorrow won't be either, but the day will definitely come. I'm here for you, and I encourage you to follow my channel so you keep knowing that someone is out there who somewhat understands. I always like to end my videos with a little exercise, so please do this with me now. Inhale, exhale, and repeat. I'll see you next time, and until then, please take care of yourself.